I went through the story campaign GTA 5, doing everything as much as possible not according to the script. People usually don't play like that, and the developers themselves obviously didn't want you to go through their game like that and know about all the moments that I will tell you about today. The first thing I tried was to save Michael's yacht, which he had stolen and for which he is so grieved.
My fucking boat! My boat!
You will say that this is an ordinary bug, and I would agree with you if I didn't find out something that is quite difficult to explain. During the mission, father and son, the bandits, as I said, steal Michael's yacht. You probably always thought that you couldn't catch up with her because at some point a script for breaking the car works on the bridge. If so, then you were wrong. And no, I will not use mods, trainers, and other crap. Everything is very simple. When Franklin sails a car, if you hit some fence, our friend will be scared and run back to the salon. Such a small action overturns the entire course of the mission. After that, Franklin will no longer try to jump on the yacht, and so he will continue to sit quietly. No further plot events will also occur, but what is most important for us is that even the car will not break, although the sound of a breakdown can be heard, but it does not affect anything. This means that we can follow the yacht until the very end and find out where it will be taken. And this place, running ahead, was chosen by chance. The driver unhooks the yacht and stops right here. We can feel our boat, but the game will not allow us to take it away. Shoot the thief and get into his car, by the way, is also impossible. According to the planned scenario, we shouldn't have been here at all, which is obvious. Or should we? After all, if not, why did the bandits stop right here? For those who do not understand, this is the area in which the Marabunta Grande group dominates. Running around the nearby territory, you can meet many representatives of this gang. At the same time, the thieves who decided to steal Michael's yacht are just members of Marabunta Grande. In fact, it is surprising that in this case, the Rockstars seem to have predicted that the players would somehow track the yacht, but at the same time, they managed to screw up in much simpler and more obvious things. In the Blitz game mission, we are given the task to install a bomb on the back door of the car, a reasonable assumption of the player. If you throw a bomb, say, a little higher or a little lower than the designated area and blow it up, then nothing should change logically and the doors will open in the same way. I set the mine a little higher, blew it up, and what do we see? The doors really open, but something is still wrong here. Yes, the van is empty for some reason, although there should be 2 people there. If you install a bomb again, specifically where it is necessary according to the script, then the doors will explode again, and 2 workers will already get out of the car, although it was just completely empty there. And here a rather substantial argument comes to mind. Who wants to break the game on purpose? He will do it. There is nothing special about this phenomenon. Well, we will simplify the task even more. Here is a clear example. After the Shame or Glory mission, Michael resumes relations with Trevor, but at this stage, Trevor is completely unfamiliar with Franklin, and Michael did not even mention him. However, if immediately after this mission we call Trevor and Franklin and offer them to meet, these 2 will behave as if they had long ago become buddies.
So what were you 2 like when y'all was kids?
Well, Michael always was a bit of a pussy.
Yeah, Trevor was always a lot of a psycho.
You both hate me. You both do. I see it now.
Oh man, no, we don't. Nobody hate you, man. That ain't true.
Oh, we love you. T.
See you around, Michael.
For real, man. See you soon.
Let me remind you that according to the logic of the plot, Franklin and Trevor see each other for the first time. And of course, this will not affect the very cutscene that will be shown to us in one of the next missions.
That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
And by the way, since we are talking about parties, I want to tell you about one very funny detail. You can see it if you drive up to Los Santos Customs and get out of the car. Your partner will also leave the car, after which you sharply sit back and drive into the workshop. While you are tuning, the car doors cannot be opened. However, our friend is programmed to return to the salon. As a result, we witness such a ridiculous picture. This nonsense is easy to explain by the conflict of 2 different mechanics, but the next moment I honestly do not quite understand. Apparently, Rockstar did not expect that you and your buddy at the party will ever be at the top of the train. To demonstrate the absurdity of this situation, let's get to it first. At first glance, everything seems to be fine. But after I scared Michael, he began to run back and forth like crazy. Apparently, the NPC is looking for a safe exit from the car, but cannot find it, and at the same time, threatens us to get away from him.
I'm serious. Get lost. Seriously. Stop the stalking.
Although we do not chase him and do not prevent him from leaving, nevertheless, if you stay in place, it will cost you your life.
Okay, your choice, funny guy.
After destroying the wall in the mission Huge Kush, we must take the money and safely hide from the cops. You probably thought that it would take a long and serious repair to solve the problem with this huge hole in the wall that we just drilled. But as it turned out, even before the end of the mission, if you return to this location, the wall is already in perfect order. Everything looks like there was no robbery at all. We will give the game a second chance, already in another robbery, the very first. After we cleared the jewelry store and got away from the cops, the game allows us to go anywhere, and the mission from this insolence will not fail. It turns out that we can return to the jewelry store, which was cleaned a couple of minutes ago, to see what should not be there at all. The alarm is still working. However, going inside, we will see that the whole store is already restored. The protective glasses are in order. All the jewelry is in place. And what is even stranger, the showcases have become bulletproof, and the missiles with grenades do not take them either. A similar problem with the mission to Otkos, during which the accident of 2 trains occurred. It is logical to assume that these debris should remain on the rails even after the mission is completed. But having arrived at the scene of the incident, yes, they really are here. It seems that Rockstar understood that this is a very strange jam. They left the debris in place, which is actually pretty cool, but forgot that the working train also did not disappear anywhere. And although it seems to me a rather funny observation, nevertheless, the next moment I would call just genius. So stupid that even genius. Robbery mission in the pallet. You may have noticed that while you are arranging wild action, your money is slowly running out. It became interesting to me that if I do what the developers did not expect from me and bring the balance to 0, but the result turned out to be much more unpredictable than I thought. When the game switches you to Franklin, it is assumed that you will go as quickly as possible to save your brothers. But in fact, in terms of time, you are not limited in any way. You can stand here for at least a few days, but most importantly, the money continues to flow all the time. And in the end, I did not just bring the balance to 0, I went to minus. I earned a negative amount of money on this robbery. When the mission was over, they wrote to me, "You stole 8 million, of which you lost 8,100,000. Taking into account the expenses, the share of the gang was minus 4,000.
This is a big win.
Oh yeah.
That is, I robbed the bank and stayed for a long time, as if I were in the USA in 2008. It is surprising that Rockstar did not foresee this. They just did not think that there would be a person who would have so much to do. You all know one simple axiom. You can come for any task on any transport, and when the mission begins, this transport will become your current means of transportation. But for some reason, when I took the dirigible and flew to the mission of cleaning the office, something very strange happened. I understand that this is not the most adequate choice, but still I did not think that I would see this.
What's going on?
Oh, just enjoying a little labor dispute. See, we're about to do something really.
As soon as the mission starts, the dirigible automatically explodes, and you see the failure of the task right during the cutscene. In addition, pieces of the dirigible will fly around the room without obstacles. Although, even a more fun thing will happen later, if you click to repeat the task. Then, the dirigible will recover, hang in a very strange position, and we will even see Lester in the passenger seat. How he managed to get in there is not clear at all. Extremely non-standard and unexpected. I passed another mission, scouting in the port. You see, when you come to Floyd's workplace, you have to follow Floyd on foot for quite a long time, and it is boring. You can't run. You can't use transport either. And in fact, now it is clear why they banned players from getting into cars. You will not be able to get into any car in the vicinity, except for this truck, which the developers apparently forgot about. 1025. The point is that at this time, the animation when colliding with some objects is disabled, and you will not be able to crush it. In fact, you will just speed it up. This can be used to quickly catch up with him at the destination point, but I would do something more fun in your place.
Okay.
It's funny that Floyd in GTA 5 is probably the most soundless and visible character in the game, and it is with him that you can create such a game. However, the problems of this mission do not end there. When you take advantage of the loaders, you certainly will not be able to knock down the workers. The mission will fail immediately. In general, for any non-standard behavior, the game immediately punishes you, and from that it was extremely strange to find out that when you pick up the containers with them, you can already knock down and crush anyone. None of the workers will get angry with you, They will just quietly suffer, and the game itself does not see anything bad in this. It looks like a standard working moment. And by the way, about Floyd. We all remember the rather tough mission Silence and Peace, but you have hardly heard that it has one specific feature. It is very easy to tear it off. That is, you see that the mission is available and run up to it, but if you start shooting, the task will disappear, and you will see Floyd running out of the house. Maybe this is even logical, but it is not logical that if you just put a mine somewhere nearby, it will also tear off the mission every time, and every time a frightened Floyd will run out of there, just crossing the road and returning back. This process will repeat, and as you understand, this can be used for some funny experiments. Every time Floyd ran out, I shot him and repeated it over and over again. Every half minute I replenished my collection of Floyds, and of course I wanted to create an entire army of Floyds, or rather a cemetery of Floyds, but unfortunately, when their number exceeded 4 to 5 Floyds, one of them simply disappeared. That is, it is unlikely to build a whole mountain.
So we finally got to this. I dragged this moment to the end because I am watched, including small children, and this knowledge is not for their eyes and ears at all. I hope they are already tired of watching and closed the video. And although this moment will not relate to the plot of the game directly, I think that it will be remembered by you most of all. When you find Trevor in this position, doing dirty and loud things on the toilet, do not try to switch to him, because this will not lead to anything. He will just pull up his pants and get up. And if, being in the trailer, you earn yourself a search, Trevor will also pull up his sneakers, get scared, and run away. However, if you leave the trailer, earn the star of the search and get rid of it, and only then switch to Trevor, then he will become completely playable and without pants. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the details, but believe me, Rockstar has worked hard to work out the subscription and Trevor's bells. What surprised me, even the physics of these objects works great, although it is unlikely that it was ever assumed that Trevor in this form can be playable. And he is quite capable, and you will not notice any obvious gameplay changes, except for one strangeness. If you get into the car of some NPC, Trevor will not fall off it, even at high speed, as usual. Apparently, the lowered pants add stability to him, and what they also add to him is some kind of inexplicable immunity to collisions with transport. If a car hits him at any speed, he will not be damaged. Well, even if his train hits him, he will remain alive and well. Unfortunately, this does not cancel the fact that he can be arrested or shot, and then, after being drained in prison or in the hospital, he will still pull up his pants. And since this was definitely the best video you've watched in the last 15 minutes, I'm waiting for your subscriptions and bells.